What's the secret behind a love that makes hearts flutter? They were the kind of couple that made people believe in fairy tales. Their bond was electric, a magnetic force that drew others in and made them believe in the magic of love. Friends often remarked on how their laughter was infectious, spreading joy to everyone around them. He would twirl her in the kitchen, their laughter echoing off the walls, creating a symphony of joy. It was in these small, seemingly insignificant moments that their love truly shone. The kitchen became their dance floor, a place where they could be themselves, free from the world's expectations. While they waited for the pasta water to boil, cooking together was more than just a daily chore. It was a ritual that brought them closer. They would share stories, dreams, and sometimes even their fears, all while preparing their favorite meals. She would steal his socks, just to watch him dig through the drawer with a playful grumble. It was a game they played, a testament to their playful nature. These little acts of mischief kept their relationship fresh and exciting, reminding them to never take life too seriously. John and Mary were a testament to the enduring power of love, their days filled with laughter and light. They found joy in the simplest of things, whether it was a shared joke or a quiet evening spent in each other's company. Their love was a beacon of hope for those around them. Their home was a haven, filled with the aroma of baking bread and the sound of his off-key singing. It was a place where they could escape the chaos of the outside world and just be themselves. The kitchen, in particular, was a sanctuary where they created not just meals, but memories. She cherished his boisterous laughter, the way his eyes crinkled at the corners when he smiled. It was these little details that made her fall in love with him over and over again. His laughter was a melody that played in her heart, a constant reminder of their shared happiness. He adored her quick wit, the way she could disarm him with a single look. Her intelligence and humor were qualities he admired deeply, and they added a layer of depth to their relationship. She had a way of making him see the world differently, challenging him to be a better person. They were two halves of a whole, perfectly content in their own little world. Their love was a sanctuary, a place where they could find solace and comfort. In each other's arms, they found a sense of peace that was unmatched by anything else. Their love story wasn't a fairy tale, it was real, raw, and beautifully flawed. They faced challenges and obstacles, but they always found a way to overcome them together. Their love was a testament to the power of resilience and the beauty of imperfection. They had their disagreements, their moments of frustration, but through it all, their love remained a steady beacon, guiding them through life's choppy waters. It was this unwavering commitment to each other that made their love so special. No matter what life threw at them, they knew they could face it together, hand in hand. John had recently started a new job at a tech firm. It was his dream, a chance to spread his wings and dive headfirst into the world of coding. He would come home buzzing with excitement, regaling Mary with stories of his innovative colleagues and challenging projects. What fascinated Mary most were the culinary delights he often brought home. The company was known for its gourmet cafeteria, boasting an array of international cuisines. "They even have a Michelin-starred chef, darling," John had exclaimed, his eyes wide with wonder. He would often bring back a plate of something exotic for Mary, eager to share the bounty of his new workplace. One evening, John came home with a particularly enticing container. "Chicken Tetrazzini," he announced, "Chef Ricardo's specialty." Mary's mouth watered at the aroma wafting from the container. She loved trying new dishes, and John's descriptions of Chef Ricardo's culinary prowess had piqued her curiosity. As Mary took a bite, a strange sensation washed over her. The flavors, though delicious, seemed muddled, almost off. She pushed the thought aside, attributing it to her rumbling stomach. John, however, barely touched his food. "Not hungry, love?" Mary inquired, noticing his unusual lack of appetite. "My stomach is a bit off," John mumbled, his face pale. "Must be something I ate at lunch." He excused himself, heading for the bathroom with a grimace. Mary watched him go, a knot of worry forming in her stomach. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. The strange taste of the Tetrazzini, John's sudden illness, it all felt connected. Over the next few weeks, the pattern repeated itself. Every time John brought home food from the office, particularly from Chef Ricardo, he would fall ill. It started with mild stomach cramps, escalating to nausea, and on one occasion even vomiting. Mary became increasingly concerned. She urged John to see a doctor, but the physician could find nothing wrong. "It's probably just stress," the doctor concluded. "New job, new environment, it takes a toll." But Mary wasn't convinced. The timing was too coincidental. Every episode was linked to food from John's office, specifically dishes prepared by this enigmatic Chef Ricardo. A seed of suspicion began to take root in her mind, whispering doubts she couldn't ignore. Section 5. The seed of suspicion. Mary wasn't one to jump to conclusions, yet she couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister was at play. The more she thought about it, the more convinced she became. Why did John only get sick after eating food from work, especially Chef Ricardo's dishes? The thought gnawed at her, fueling her suspicions. Mary decided to take matters into her own hands. She had always been resourceful, her mind a steel trap when it came to solving puzzles. She would uncover the truth, no matter the cost. Mary began researching herbs and spices, delving into the world of natural remedies and, more importantly, their darker counterparts. She spent hours poring over ancient texts, her mind racing with possibilities. Could someone be deliberately making John sick? And if so, why? A plan began to form in Mary's mind, a daring and potentially dangerous one. She would create a dish, something so irresistible, so uniquely identifiable, that she would know for certain if it was tampered with. Her weapon of choice? A chicken tetrazzini, infused with a secret ingredient only she knew about. The next day, Mary prepared the dish with meticulous care. She added a rare Himalayan herb, its subtle flavor masked by the other ingredients. The herb itself was harmless but would change color if it came into contact with a specific type of mold, a mold she suspected was being used to taint John's food. When John arrived home that evening, he was greeted by the aroma of his favorite dish. "You shouldn't have, darling," he said, his eyes lighting up with appreciation. Mary's heart ached at his innocent pleasure, her resolve to expose the truth solidifying into steel. The next morning, Mary woke with a jolt. She had a text from John. Feeling ill again, it read, "Didn't even eat at the office today. Just had the tetrazzini you packed." Mary's blood ran cold. John was sick, but he hadn't eaten at the office. That meant the tetrazzini she had made, the one with the telltale herb, was untouched. There was only one explanation: someone had tampered with the food after John brought it to work. A wave of anger washed over Mary, followed by a chilling realization. The culprit was closer than she thought, someone who had access to John's food at the office, and that someone was deliberately trying to hurt him. Mary grabbed her keys, her face a mask of determination. She raced towards John's office, her heart pounding in her chest. She had a confrontation to orchestrate, a truth to uncover, a love to protect. Mary burst into John's office, her eyes scanning the room. She had been waiting for this moment, the culmination of weeks of suspicion and unease. Her heart pounded in her chest as she took in the scene before her. There, perched at a desk near John's, was a woman Mary had only met briefly, a colleague John had mentioned in passing. She seemed engrossed in her work, oblivious to the storm brewing around her. This woman, however, was no ordinary colleague. Mary recognized her instantly. The shock of recognition sent a chill down her spine. It was her, the woman from the farmer's market, the one who always gave Mary unsettling vibes. She had always seemed out of place, her presence a dark cloud over the otherwise cheerful market. "You!" Mary exclaimed, her voice trembling with barely suppressed fury. The word hung in the air, heavy with accusation and anger. The woman, startled, looked up. Her eyes widened in surprise, but there was something else there too: fear. Her eyes, cold and calculating, met Mary's. It was a look that sent shivers down Mary's spine, a look that confirmed her worst fears. In that instant, Mary knew. She knew that this woman was not just a colleague, not just a passerby from the market. She was something much more sinister. This woman, this witch, was responsible for John's illness. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks, and her anger flared even hotter. "What have you done to him?" Mary demanded, her voice echoing through the office. The other employees looked up, startled by the commotion. The woman, taken aback by Mary's sudden appearance and accusatory tone, stammered, I don't know what you're talking about." Her voice wavered, betraying her nervousness, but Mary wasn't buying it. She had seen too much, felt too much to be swayed by feigned ignorance. She marched over to John's desk and grabbed the container of untouched tetrazzini. It was the same dish he had eaten the night he fell ill. "This," she declared, holding it up for everyone to see, "is proof." Her voice was strong, unwavering, as she presented the evidence that would expose the truth. Mary opened the container, revealing the incriminating evidence. Her heart pounded as she lifted the lid, the weight of the moment pressing down on her. She had suspected something was amiss, but the reality was far more sinister than she had imagined. The once innocuous-looking tetrazzini had taken on a peculiar greenish hue, the telltale sign of the rare herb reacting with the mold. The room gasped. The evidence was undeniable. It was clear that this was no ordinary case of food spoilage. It was a deliberate act of sabotage. The woman, her face pale and her composure shattered, tried to make a run for it. Panic set in as she realized the gravity of her actions being exposed. Her mind raced, searching for an escape route, but it was too late. But Mary was too quick. Her determination fueled by a sense of justice, she sprinted after the fleeing woman. The chase was brief but intense, with Mary's resolve unwavering. She blocked her path, her eyes blazing with righteous anger. Mary's stance was firm, her body a barrier that the other woman could not breach. The confrontation was inevitable. "You're not going anywhere until you tell me why," she demanded, her voice shaking with a mixture of fear and fury. The intensity of her emotions was palpable, each word laced with the pain of betrayal. Under Mary's unwavering gaze, the woman crumbled, her defenses shattered, and she began to sob uncontrollably. The weight of her guilt was too much to bear. She confessed to everything, admitting that she had developed an unhealthy infatuation with John. Her voice trembled as she recounted her actions, each word a dagger to Mary's heart. Blinded by jealousy, she had resorted to using dark magic, attempting to make John sick so she could swoop in as his savior. The revelation was shocking, a twisted tale of love gone wrong. John, witnessing the entire exchange, was speechless. The truth hit him like a tidal wave, leaving him reeling. He had never suspected the depths of the woman's obsession. He looked at Mary, his eyes filled with a mixture of gratitude and awe. In that moment, he saw her not just as a partner but as a protector, someone who would go to any lengths to keep him safe. In that moment, he realized the depth of her love for him, a love so fierce, so protective that it had vanquished even the darkest of magic. Their bond was stronger than ever, forged in the fires of adversity. The police were called, the witch apprehended, and justice, in its own way, was served. The ordeal had tested their love, but in the end it had triumphed over treachery, proving that true love can conquer even the darkest of evils. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating content. Your support means the world to us.